I'm a French-Argentinian artist based in London since 2019. For my practice, I use the pseudonym Ohne Titel. My work is a reflection on memory and identity. I compulsively collect everything that surrounds me. That's from postcards to sand to notes to invitations, basically anything that traces a trajectory. It is my way to keep the past in the present. I handle video, collage, installation, depending on the focus. The work I produce lie in the intersection between figuration and abstraction. Lately, I mostly paint. And the latest series that I've been doing is called Memory Prints, and is reference to the animal prints used in fashion design. It surged from the remains of torn out photographs. Lines and shapes appeared, and they became the core of this series. They seem hazardous and freehand, but they're very precise. So the only difference is the way they are rearranged each time. They are like imprecise square meter or smaller works on paper or canvases made of many layers of paint and undefined black shapes. They register an existential memory, just like a dream is not precise, but rather a turmoil of emotion. I relate to the working through process of Freud. Through my work, I intend to release the unconscious to better understand the processed experience. And like Onkawara, the artist, I draw attention to our passage through time. Because I believe that the better we understand who we are, the more empowered we'll be to become who we want to be. If that makes sense.
It does.
I record memoirs that are both unique and universal, intimate yet anonymous. So you'll never see me in my works, or it's never going to be like an obvious intention of telling my story, but it's all the processed stories and feelings and memories that are projected into the artworks. I believe we are what we've been made to be, and so like that all the memories and all the experiences we had make us who we are. So it's a kind of way of acknowledging it and trying to understand and process all those things to become even better. I know who I am, and I know who I want to be, and acknowledging those two things and understanding them also allows one to become what they want to be. I wouldn't say I look upon one person in particular. I do have lots of influences. I mean, everything that I like, I will grab somehow, even unconsciously. But I'm attracted to and I admire a lot of different visual artists. Also, music has a lot of influence. But again, it's not super conscious. It's more, well, that's how it makes me feel. And when something makes me feel good, or I like the mood, it generates. Then it influences me definitely. But it's not one particular person, type, or thing. It's more the generics of everything. Or when I admire a speech or something, and then they will stay into me, but it's not like I will pinpoint and say, that person, it's really rare that I never had I have fans of many things, but I've never been a fan of one particular thing, and never had a band that was my idolized band or anything, but still there's lots of music, very, very eclectic in my taste, and same for art. I can love the artworks of like a Chuck Close, super figurative, and then Gerhard Richter, super abstract, and so it's really the feeling that, and I think again that's very personal, and not generic, and not that everything that I will like about that artist or that person, but the whole, all those little details that makes you feel good and alive. Well, that series in particular started during COVID. So I guess it has, again, not consciously, because I didn't feel like, oh, this is COVID. What can I do? And what am I going to do? It was more of well, this is what I started. I mean, because the memory prints, the turn up of the photographs and the things I did in 2012, but then I didn't do much about it. I just kept those lines and kind of liked them, looked super hazardous, but at the same time weren't. And but I didn't know what to do. And then during COVID, I started, I had more. No, I didn't have more time because I have a kid. I had actually less time, but I was at home, so I was constrained to be working on like smaller pieces, and with what I had, I didn't go to my studio I wasn't going to do oil, so. And so I started at first with crayons, and then when I could go back to the studios because I have my own space, so I don't have to mix up with people, then I started putting oil. So I started with crayons and aquarelle, watercolor, and acrylic, and then I started with the oil and started making bigger things. So this series really was developed during the COVID, but it was something that was hanging there for a while. Work, do what you love because it fulfills you, and until somebody looks up to you or starts buying or whatever, time can pass, but it fulfills you. Keep on doing it as much as you can. Work, because talent is not enough. But also it's not work because you really enjoy it. So it's just and believe in yourself and continue, and I don't know. I mean, is there a real advice you can give an artist? It's that we don't have a choice. I mean, I wish sometimes, it was easier, and I'm like, I could say, well, you know what, I'm just going to live it and I'm going to do something else. But as tough as it can be, sometimes it's so fulfilling in another hand. Well, I organized an open studio, which was more than an open studio, it was an art happening last weekend, and it was a real big success. In our premises, we're like 21 studios, and there wasn't a sense of community anymore, because most of the artists there had been there for 15, 20 years, and with the COVID and the new management, everything. So it was kind of like I'd been there for 2 years. Okay, COVID came in and everything, but I barely met the artists, and I wanted to be there so I could meet the artists. So I had that idea for a long time in my head to do kind of open studios, brunch / kids art workshop. And so I thought, well, maybe that could be the perfect opportunity to do it. And so I organized it at first. The artists were like, yeah, maybe, I don't know, open studios, they work, they don't work, blah, blah, blah. The management wasn't helping too much either. But then at the end, I convinced everybody, and it was all on me. And I was like, it's fine, because it's really my idea. So I'm okay to do it. And I think if it turns out to be as good as I think it could be, then everybody's going to be in. And So we did it, the first one last weekend, and it was a pure success. All the artists were thrilled. The guests were super happy. Everybody. So I'm really happy because now they're all like, okay, when do you do another one? And of course, we're not gonna do open studios every 2 months, but like probably next spring. And I think also our community as artists there in the premises is gonna expand, and so I'm looking forward to that.